Buffalo's historic Broadway Market is set to lose its only full-service grocery store. Save-A-Lot announced it'll close the Broadway location next week.
There is now a push to try and keep the store open. Common Councilman Mitch Nowakowski represents the Fillmore District, and he joins us now to talk more about this issue. Mitch, we thank you for coming in this afternoon. First, I want to get your general reaction to this news. How significant is this?
Well, my first reaction really is frustration because the city of Buffalo is the landlord, and Save-A-Lot has not notified their landlord that they are closing, other than a piece of computer paper with Sharpie saying we are closing. And my constituents deserve better than that. And my constituents have been consumers there for a very long time, and there's been a lot of miscommunication with the operator and the city, who he's really tried to divert and go around the market manager to call the mayor, to call myself, to kind of put pressure on us to really not have any concerns. And I talked to the daily market manager a lot, and she says, Mitch, I've asked, what could I need to keep you here? There's no list of needs that are submitted. And really, it's just unprofessional, and I'm really left to be perplexed. As you know, businesses are there to make money, but the Broadway market works really hard to keep those vendors there to be a daily market 365 days a year.
And this is a major problem because it further exacerbates a problem that we have reported on extensively here at Channel 4, and that is the existing food desert. I mean, a bunch of stores were closing. The dollar stores have closed, the Save-A-Lots have closed, and now this last Save-A-Lot in the Broadway market. Where are folks supposed to go to get groceries? And we're talking about groceries like fresh fruit and other produce. Where can they go?
It's a good question. So in the Fillmore District, folks and my constituents can actually walk across the street to Aldi's to get those needs too. And then they can work further down to go to Polly, and then around the corner, around the Bailey, there's another grocery store too. So when we gain some, we've seen to lose some. It's been an issue that we've really been working on. But to be honest, you know, the treatment that my constituents are receiving, especially when cleaning up that Buffalo News article, there has not been looting at the Broadway market that has propelled this operator to leave. That's just categorically false, and that's lying about the neighborhood.
And that's his claim. His claim is that he has tried to remain open and strong as a business since the pandemic, but thefts have driven over his ability to make a living. You're saying that is false. Tell me why.
Well, how do you not record that with Buffalo police officers? How do you not record that with the market manager? How do you not tell anyone that the theft is so significant and it's cutting your profit margin, where then you magically come up with a piece of computer paper saying we're closing and stick it on a door to treat people in the community that way? That's just ridiculous. And you know, the second thing moving forward is the city of Buffalo would work with every vendor that they possibly can, if they are on back rent, if they need maintenance, to be able to abate some of those costs to keep them there. The city of Buffalo has always been at the table and a willing participant, and the vendor actually has a meeting tomorrow with the city of Buffalo and the market manager, and he still has not told anybody that he is closing, other than a sign on a door.
He had previously said that he reached out to you to save the store and that he never heard back. What's your response to that?
Well, so that's a great question, because oftentimes that's always what people use to attack politicians, and I'm going to take that head on. The fact of the matter is he reached out to my office, and my office directed him to work with the market manager, who works there daily, day in and out. I can't go in as the council member and start hustling people around and, you know, twisting arms for leases. That's disrespectful. There's a wonderful person who runs that market every single day that knows those nuances and that wants to work. You can't just usurp everybody and start calling the mayor on your personal cell phone and calling in the councilman, and if you don't hear from the councilman, you're going to call the mayor, as if I'm being told on like he's my father. It's ridiculous.
All right, so tomorrow this meeting is with the city. It likely will be the first time that you guys have sat down face to face with this business owner. He's going to say what he's going to say, probably some of the same claims that he has made over the past several months. My curiosity to you is, what can be done to at least hear this person out and maybe save this store so that this community still does have a grocery store that is viable?
He needs to put something on the table so that we could start negotiating. If you don't put anything on the table, what do we work from?
And say it does close, what do you say to your constituents who are worried that now they either have to walk further, pay more for transportation to go to other stores?
Before that was a Save-A-Lot, that was a Tops, and I will maintain that will always be a grocer in there. And if it's not successful for Save-A-Lot, we'll be beating the pavement to get another grocer in there. And the fact of the matter is a grocer has survived in that location for quite some time. Labor costs, food costs are going up on everybody, and so the problems that he's dealing with and that he's stating that he is, everybody's dealing with. But you got to work with your landlord to be able to keep you as a tenant.
And we expect to hear much more about this, I imagine, after this meeting takes place between this business owner and the city. Hopefully something can be worked out for your constituents in the Fillmore District. Mitch Nowakowski, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.